Hey everyone, Iris is here, welcome back to my channel, and today I would like to share a list of 10 movies that start with a game, with a dare, or just a harmless fun, and then they spiral into this full-blown chaos. Some of them are romantic or absurd or just casually funny, but before we get started, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you are new here so you never miss a new video. And now let's start, shall we? And we're going to start with date night. So basically what starts as a night out for a married couple, which is extremely bored of everything, turns into this case of mistaken identity, mobsters and car chases. Tina Fey and Steve Carell are absolutely hilarious in this movie, and I have decided to include it here because they don't exactly play games in this one. I mean, they are playing games when we see them in a restaurant and they're trying to guess other, like couples' personalities and how long those people are together. And also, they kind of start this game, which is extremely dangerous, simply out of boredom and because they want to, they want to find this spark again in their relationship. So yeah, I think that we can definitely say that this movie has the elements of a game, and if you have never seen it, I recommend you watching it because it's a very easy film to watch. And as I said, like Tina Fey and Steve Carell, they are phenomenal and they are great actors and they have very good, comedy timing. So yeah, if you have never seen it, go and check it out. Next, I have the one I love, which was new for me, and it's basically about a couple that travels to this retreat to reconnect, but instead they discover the surreal, versions of themselves, and it's like therapy meets sci-fi meets the weirdest relationship experiment, and nothing is really what it seems, and the game basically becomes emotional survival. So in this list, I'm not going to mention a lot of, thrillers or horrors where I guess elements of games are very popular, but this one I definitely found very gripping from start to finish, and if you have never seen it, I highly recommend you doing so. Another movie which stands out for me is Carnage. It's not a movie where people play games per se, but I guess that we can say that the characters are playing emotional chess. So it's basically the story of parents who come together in order to settle an issue that their sons had at school, and they're trying to understand who should apologize first. And I mean, the acting performances, like the cast is absolutely sensational. It's like top notch, and it is set in one location, and I am such a very big fan of those movies, and it's definitely very funny at times and absurd, and also it's very gripping from start to finish. And if you have never seen this movie, I really encourage you doing so. Another movie which I think has this element of social or emotional game inside is The Lobster. So it's basically the very dark and satirical world in which single people are forced to find a partner in 45 days, and if they don't, they are turned into animals of their choice. And it's definitely very absurd and very satirical, but Colin Farrell, he's one of my favorite actors, and Rachel Weisz, who is my favorite actress of all time, they are absolutely astonishing, I think, in this movie, and I really like it. I really love this movie. I like how absurd it is, I like how dark it is, and I like that it is also kind of romantic. And yeah, I think that we can definitely, put this film into this category of movies where people play games, because everything that happens in this movie is very surreal, and it's definitely like an emotional game that all the characters are playing. So if you have never seen it, go and check it out. Now the one that takes a game concept literally, and of course I'm talking about Scott Pilgrim's versus the World, and it's definitely a very fun movie to watch because it's very innovative and it was directed by Edgar Wright, who I absolutely adore. So it's basically a movie about Scott who has to fight his girlfriend's 7 evil exes in this kind of, video game style battles, and it is absolutely hilarious, I think, and it's definitely very quirky at times, and there are so many amazing characters and there are so many amazing actors in it as well. Like, I have rewatched it today before making this video and I forgot that there were, like, it is absolutely star-studded. Maybe at times when this movie was made, they weren't as big, but right now, like, it is an absolutely star-studded movie. So if you have never seen it for any reasons, please go and check it out, and I'm sure that you are going to enjoy it. Now on to the movie that basically gave me the idea for creating this video, and I'm talking about Tag. I was so surprised when I have finished watching this movie and I saw that it is actually based on a real life story. So it's basically about a group of friends and they have been playing tag for more than 30 years. And when I saw like the footage of real, people, real men who were part of this, tag game, I was just so surprised. But I think that the movie is very underrated. It's so funny to watch. There are so many amazing characters and like actors are exceptionally good in these roles. Like, I think that they had this chemistry that I guess friends should have, and I really believed them, and it was even like touching at some moments because this movie is exploring this idea, I guess, of friendship and bond and connection, and that's why I really like it. And if you have never seen it, please do. Yes, sometimes it can go just a little bit over the top, I guess, but at the same time I think that it's a very fun movie to watch, and it's very refreshing, and it has this element of like I guess like adrenaline. I don't know, maybe that's how I felt while watching this movie, but yeah, it has this element of adrenaline and you really don't know what is going to happen next. So yeah, it's an absolute gem, which is highly underrated. And I have another Edgar Wright. I told you I'm a very big fan, and of course I'm talking about The World's End. It's basically a story about 5 friends who are returning into their hometown in order to finish and finally complete this kind of pub crawl where they need to basically visit, I think, like 12 pubs and drink a pint in each of them. But they discover that their hometown has actually been invaded by aliens and all the people were replaced by robots, and it's definitely a very absurd comedy. Like, it's very dark and very, hilarious as well, and it's definitely like a movie where something that starts as a beer game basically turns into the kind of fight for humanity. And I am such a very big fan of Simon Pegg and Nick Frost and them together and with Edgar Wright, so I was just like, it was a pure joy to watch this movie. I haven't rewatched it ever since, but I'm sure that if I will definitely enjoy it just as much. So if you have never seen it and if you are ready for a very absurd type of comedy with lots of black humor and maybe some violent elements as well, then feel free to check it out. I definitely can recommend this one to you. Now a movie that actually has the word game in a title, and of course I'm talking about Game Night. I mean, I'm such a very big fan of this movie, and I think it is highly, highly underrated. It's basically about a murder mystery party that turns way too real after one of the players, one of the friends, is kidnapped. And it's definitely a very absurd comedy slash action slash, I guess, like thriller, I don't know, but it's definitely a very fun film to watch. And Jason Bateman and Rachel McAdams, they are so sweet and they are absolutely hilarious in this movie, and all the supporting cast as well. And oh my god, like I loved Jesse Plemons in this movie so much. Like he is absolutely amazing here. If you have never watched this film, watch it for Jesse Plemons alone, because it is something else. Like I love Jesse Plemons in pretty much all of the, you know, his recent movies and the movies that he has done previously, but specifically in Game Night, he's just absolutely astonishing. So yeah, as I said, I think this movie is highly, highly underrated, so go and watch it. I'm sure you will have a lot of fun. Now let's talk about another favorite of mine, and I'm talking about Perfect Strangers. I love this movie because I think that it is absolutely incredible. Like it works on so many levels. And one more time, it is a movie like Carnage, which is set in one location, and I think that it works perfectly with the storyline and with the genre, because it definitely creates this atmosphere and this, you know, like tension. So it's basically a story about a group of friends, and they come together in one of their apartments and they are having dinner and everything is fine, but then they decide to play a game. They decide to read every text and answer every call on speaker. Sounds very harmless, right? But no. A lot of secrets are being revealed and relationships get tested, and it becomes absolutely chaotic. Like it spirals so quickly from a very, very innocent game into this, you know, carnage, I guess, like emotional and verbal carnage. And that's why I think this movie works so perfectly in one location, because you can definitely cut tension with a knife among all of the characters in this movie, and I just love it. And if you have never seen it, if you have missed it, I really recommend you watching it. And finally, I would like to talk about Love Me If You Dare. It's basically a story of a boy and a girl who start playing Truth or Dare when they were very, very young, basically in their childhood. And as they become older, the game becomes darker, it becomes more toxic, but also more romantic as well. And it's definitely like a very emotional movie, I guess. And Marion Cotillard and Guillaume Canet, I think they were suited, you know, perfectly for their roles, for their characters, because they have this amazing chemistry. And yeah, I love this movie so much. And if you have never watched it, please do, because it's a very beautiful story, yet tragic at times. And it's a story of, it is a love story that, you know, plays with fire, but keeps going anyway. That's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed this video, and if you did, please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. It really means a lot to me. And if I didn't mention any of your favorites, please let me know in the comments, and I will see you all very, very soon.